So well done on getting through Unit 8. At this point, we've covered almost everything, just a little bit more to go into Unit 9. And so in this bonus video, we'd like to talk about the tone pairs, which we've obviously been talking about throughout the course. Which tone pairs are the most difficult, the most challenging for most people to articulate correctly?
Everyone seems to have one that stumps them, one that they struggle with, right? So in our experience, we've been teaching for a good few years now, and we can definitely confidently say that these 5 that we're about to list for you are ones that tend to give people the most trouble. So watch out for them. Make sure you're not doing them wrong.
So the first tone pair that tends to give people trouble is first tone followed by fourth tone. Now, I totally get this because you really don't do this in English. This isn't something that you're naturally going to say. You're not going to go... I mean, even when we say the example of first tone, like maybe, it's not like you're going... maybe, right? It's actually more like a first tone, fifth tone, right? Yeah. So this is not something that comes up very often. Luckily, though, a lot of the words that use it are very common, so you're going to say it a lot.
Yeah, that fourth tone is something that we usually say. We do say it in English, right? But it's usually like a single utterance, like no, like if you're telling a dog off or something like that. So saying it in combination with other things is a bit weird. So just have a little practice with a couple of words that we have covered already in the course. So the word for to know, which is 知道. Right, make sure you get a nice strong assertive on the fourth tone there.
Yeah. And I find that a lot of people tend to want to, with this one, they want to make it second tone, fourth tone, because it's a little bit more natural. They want to go, 吃饭 or something like that. But it's always hold out that first tone. Give the first tone its due.
吃饭. Yeah,
exactly. So that leads us into the second one, which is just the opposite. And actually, we think this is probably the hardest one.
I reckon it is. Yeah. I reckon people had the most trouble with it. I think, so just doing a quick example for you. So the word for at home, 在家, right? I think the problem is the fact that the fourth tone is like high, then to low, and then the first tone is high again. So like very up and down, a lot going on, right?
Exactly.
So 在家, make sure again. Strong assertive fourth tone, and then the singing first tone. And the other one we want to mention is 第一 first, number 1, first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good one. And of course, you can also third would be the same. 第三, same thing. So when you say these fourth tone into first tone, the key is just find a word that you can say all the time, like 在家. And when you say that properly over and over, that can be your tone pair anchor, like we talked about before. Now, that leads us into the third one, which is actually my favorite tone pair, but it is it's tricky. People have trouble with it, which is the 3-2 tone pair. And so this is like the word 有钱. And this is like a full isolated third tone, kind of. It's like when you say 马, 有钱. It's
close.
kind of similar.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
fairly close in how they work there, but it's weird. It's weird to say.
Like most people, and I'd say around 50% of our clients probably end up going 有钱. I think I mentioned that in the video. It's like they just go straight up. So if you find yourself doing that, right, or just to make sure that you're not doing that, just say it slow. 有钱, like really exaggerate. Like we said, want to fix any problems with Chinese with your pronunciation, say it slow and consciously, and that should help a lot.
Absolutely. And there's another word that's a very common third tone, second tone that we didn't actually say in the course specifically, but we did say both parts of it, which is the word for fun in Chinese, which is 好玩. And that's a great one. We talked about 玩, we talked about 好. 好玩 is basically just saying fun. And so that's one you'll say all the time. And so, because you're going to be having fun, right? You're taking Mandarin blueprints, so you're going to be saying 好玩 all the time. Anyway, so that's the 3-2. And the opposite, 2-3, is also pretty tricky right off the bat. It's why people don't even say the word hello correctly in Chinese at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 你好. 你好. So I guess the most common problem with this is that people don't go high enough. So make sure you go 你, go all the way up to first tone level. Yeah, 你好. And the other one we got as well is 没有. 没有. Yeah, make sure you do that, because if you're saying like a bunch of words together, like a bunch of tones together, messing up the second tone in this sort of situation can really sort of mess up the other ones as well, right? So make sure you get that down.
Absolutely. And it's it's kind of funny. This is the reason why you might just say hello to a Chinese person. They go, oh, your Chinese is really good, and you're like, I just said the word hello. But if you say it properly, they recognize it. They're like, ooh, good job. You nailed that.
I've actually had a friend of mine who used to be a Chinese teacher. He actually used that as a benchmark for a lot of people, how they say níhǎo.
Yeah. So. And luckily, with this tone combination, níhǎo and méiyǒu, they're really, really common words. So you'll get a lot of chances to practice it. And so that leads us to our final very difficult tone pair that we've seen a lot of people have trouble with, which is the 3-4 tone pair. But luckily, we've had a few words that use this one.
Absolutely. So the first one we got is cola. So 可乐, 可乐, right? So again, third tone, nice and croaky and low and short, and 乐, so like nice and assertive and strong, and the full E, 可乐. Another one we got is 请问. 请问.
Yeah, it's so key to get that fourth tone right there, because if you don't get the fourth tone correct, then a Chinese person, they have trouble hearing it if you get fourth tone wrong, because it's so clear.
And first tone, right?
Yeah, first and fourth. That's why 1-4-4-1 are so important to get right. But first and fourth are the clearest sounding. They're very clear sounding, so you can understand if you grew up your entire life hearing it that way. 问, 乐, 味, 道, right? You're hearing these assertive tones, and then suddenly you don't hear it. It would be a little bit disconcerting. So it's very important to get that one right. And I can understand why people struggle with this one, because it's like you're low, and then all of a sudden you jump up high to the top of the fourth tones. It starts more first tone level, and then fall again. So it's a little bit tricky in that way. Yeah.
All right, guys, so make sure to watch out for those. Pay extra special attention to them when you're reviewing your Anki cards, okay?